You started. You felt the energy. You were actually going to do it this time. Day 1 felt incredible. Day 2, you were still in it. Day 3, you felt something shift. By day 4, the feeling was gone. You weren't sick. Nothing bad happened. The motivation just disappeared. And the moment it did, you told yourself the same thing everyone tells themselves: I'm just lazy. That's not what happened. And that story is costing you everything. Here's what's actually going on. Your brain doesn't want you to fail. It wants to protect you. And the way it protects you is by shutting down anything that feels uncertain. When you start a new goal, a workout routine, a business idea, a new habit, your brain logs it as unknown territory. Unknown territory means potential threat. Not the kind of threat that involves physical danger. The kind that involves ego, failure, and looking foolish. Your brain cannot tell the difference between I might get eaten by a lion and I might fail at this goal and feel embarrassed. To your nervous system, the anxiety feels identical. And so after 3 days, when the novelty high fades and the real effort begins, your brain pulls the emergency brake. It calls it rest. It's actually retreat. Let me show you the actual mechanism. There's a chemical system in your brain called the dopamine prediction error. Dopamine, and I need you to forget everything pop psychology told you about this, is not the pleasure chemical. That's the myth. That's why everyone's confused. Dopamine is your brain's anticipation chemical. It fires before the reward, not during it. It spikes when you imagine the result. When you picture the version of yourself who achieved the thing. The moment reality shows up, when the actual work begins, the spike drops. This is the 3-day crash. It's not you failing. It's your brain running its default program. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz documented this in the 1990s. He called it the reward prediction error. When you expect a reward and get it, dopamine stays flat. When you expect something better than you get, it drops. Your brain expected the goal-achieved version of life. You gave it the hard work version. So it registered disappointment, even though nothing went wrong. And here's the part that makes this worse. Motivation powered by dopamine anticipation has a half-life. It degrades. Every day you don't hit the expected milestone, your brain updates its prediction model downward. Day 1, the picture in your head is vivid. Day 2, slightly less vivid. Day 3, reality has started competing with the image. Day 4, your brain has recalibrated. The goal no longer feels worth the predicted effort. Now here's what most people do at this point. They try to force motivation back using willpower. They push harder. They read more quotes. They restart. They tell themselves they just need to want it more. This doesn't work. And now we know exactly why. There's a second system you need to understand, the behavioral inhibition system. The BIS. The BIS activates whenever your brain detects a mismatch between what you expected and what you're experiencing. Expected, effortless progress. Reality, slow, uncomfortable effort. Your BIS fires. It produces anxiety. It reduces your energy. It makes you want to stop. And here's what makes it really insidious. The BIS doesn't just reduce motivation. It makes the alternative, scrolling, resting, doing nothing, feel like relief. Like the right choice. Your brain is not broken. It is working exactly as designed. For an environment that no longer exists. That environment was prehistoric. Goals had immediate physical feedback. You hunted. You either ate or you didn't. No one had to sustain motivation for a business they'd see profit from in 2 years. Your brain's motivation system was not designed for the long game. You are running ancient software on a modern problem. And the fix is not more willpower. The fix is reprogramming the signal. There are 3 systems that actually sustain motivation beyond 3 days. And none of them are about wanting it more. System 1, Identity-Based Momentum. Psychologist James Clear, building on the work of B.J. Fogg, showed that motivation tied to I want this outcome breaks down fast. But motivation tied to this is who I am is structurally different in the brain. When you shift from I want to exercise to I'm someone who exercises, the bias has nothing to fire against. There's no mismatch between expectation and reality. The action itself becomes the confirmation. System 2. Process rewards over outcome rewards. Your brain will sustain dopamine when you teach it to anticipate the process, not just the result. This is why streaks work. Why crossing off a daily habit on a tracker releases a small but reliable dopamine hit. You're not rewarding the outcome. You're training your brain to anticipate the action itself. System 3. Friction reduction. Research from Stanford's Persuasive Technology Lab found that motivation rarely fails from a lack of desire. It fails when the friction of starting exceeds the motivation available at that moment. If starting requires 5 decisions, find clothes, pack bag, drive to gym, choose workout, your brain quits before you start. So here's what this actually looks like in practice. Instead of setting a motivation goal, I will exercise 5 days a week, set an identity declaration. I am someone who moves every day. It doesn't specify how far, how hard, or how long. A 10-minute walk counts. A single set of push-ups counts. The identity is reinforced. Next, set process rewards. Every day you do the thing, you get to mark it. Physically. Don't skip this. The physical act of tracking is what trains the anticipation system. And finally, engineer your starting condition. Whatever your goal is, what does the first 60 seconds of doing it look like? Can you make that first 60 seconds require 0 decisions? Clothes out the night before. App already open. Notebook on the table, pen uncapped. Everything ready before motivation is needed. You are not engineering motivation. You are engineering the condition under which your natural motivation can actually express itself. Your brain wanted to do the thing. It just needed a frictionless path to the first step. So the next time motivation disappears after 3 days, you now know what actually happened. Your dopamine anticipation degraded. Your behavioral inhibition system fired. And your brain defaulted to the path of least friction. None of that makes you lazy. All of that makes you human. The difference between people who sustain motivation and people who don't isn't willpower. It's whether they understand the system they're working with. Now you do. If you want to understand the next layer, why self-control gets harder as the day goes on, which connects directly to everything we just covered, that video is linked right now. I'll see you there.